All right, guys, Rational Gig Driver here. You're getting a fourth day, a fourth video of this week. So you're very lucky. But I want to talk about a subject matter I've been posting some shorts on, and that is the uh, purpose of earn by time on the DoorDash. So next time you're deciding earn by time, earn by order. Now, in DoorDash's world, they're going to tell you there isn't a difference because they need people to use it. But essentially, there is a difference. Well, and again, I don't know that we can really make a difference in what we choose at this point because a lot of people are going to choose it. But the essential purpose of earn by time, as you've seen from the creators themselves of the DoorDash platform, the purpose of earn by time was to effectuate the ability for DoorDash to slide the tips around. Essentially, what they used to do is they used to have a flat rate. They used to say, okay, we will guarantee you $5 an order. That's what we're going to guarantee. And if the tip takes it above, then we will only give you the portion of the tip above the $5. Otherwise, everybody gets $5. So essentially what they've done is they got in trouble for that because they were essentially using the tips, the higher paying tips, to finance the lower paying orders. And that's essentially what they've done here. And what they're working on right now is they're working on the ability to essentially make earn by time finance the earn by order, or I guess I should say, use the earn by order high tips to finance the earn by time. So it's another way of getting to the same place that they were already at. And essentially, the second effect is it will have the effect of dragging all pay down to the median of whatever DoorDash wants it to be, because they are going to flatline base pay like they have $2 base pay. Very seldom in my area have I seen base pays, unless you're on a shop and deliver, rise above maybe $3, $3.50, $4. There are occasions where they're giving out peak pay. On those occasions, I'll get obviously whatever the peak pay is that will be added in. For a little while there, I was getting quite a bit of peak pay. That might have been because I was having Top Dasher on my account. I felt like I was getting peak pay all the time, and I think that's something they do to try to ensure that their Top Dashers are paid a little bit more, because they know the Top Dashers are essentially taking a lot of the garbage orders. So in order for them to get their averages up, they're going to need some peak pay in there if they're going to be accepting every single order, so they can get some good nights in there. But essentially what DoorDash has affected at this point is they have affected the degradation of pay, driving pay down to essentially $15 an hour for Dashers. That's what they want. They want, if you look at the way dashing is laid out, okay, and I want you to follow the money here. $25 an hour is what the active pay is. They tell you they want a 70% acceptance rate, meaning they're expecting that you're going to be working about 70% of the time if you're a top dasher. Take your math backwards on that. And that puts you at about $17.50. If you're a low acceptance rate dasher, then they're going to understand that you might be working 20, 30, 40% of the time. That's why everyone who's not a top dasher right now is reporting pay in the range of potentially, say, $15 an hour, $13 an hour. You look at your earn by time. And if you look at your earn by time, whatever it's paying you, that is their goal, to get the overall pay for a dasher who says, I'm going to sit out on here and turn the app on for 10 hours. That's what they're going to eventually, that's what their goal is to have your pay iron out. Well, you have peaks, you have valleys. But that's what their goal is to be able to get dasher pay down to that figure. And by doing that, they're going to lower costs for use of their platform, because no longer will customers be feeling stressed about leaving a tip because their order is going to come. Because you're going to have a bunch of earn by time dashers who are going to be taking these orders, looking again, doing the exact same thing that they were doing before, taking multiple low tip, no tip orders that are being paid out at the earn by time. Now, remember, if there is no tip on your earn by time, you are getting paid whatever that figure is. If it's $13.25, if it's $15, whatever that is, you're going to get paid. That's it. You're not getting paid anything else. Now, if they give you a cash tip, that's great. But that's it. So don't fool yourself here. You're not going to get paid more than that earn by time. And the tips you're going to see, the few tips you're going to see on earn by time, and again, remember, Tony Xu said, words out of his mouth, this only works when we get markets into markets of scale, meaning they have to have enough orders. And what they're now using and what they're now doing, it's why the algorithm has changed, it seems, for a lot of dashers. That's why things seem different out here, because they're not matching up. Priority no longer really exists. I mean, it exists in the form you're going to get to see the 6-for-1 order, with the $4 tip or the $5 tip, versus $2 base pay. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to parallel the orders. So you have order A over here that's going to pay this dasher, $10 tip. And they're going to then say, okay, well, what would the base pay have been over here? Say it should have been under the true calculation of base pay. It should have been, maybe $5. So they're going to flatline that dasher out to 2. They're going to offer it up at $12, or they might offer it up at $6 for 1 or whatever they need to do. But whatever remaining base pay that should have been paid, since they flatlined that order at $2, now that carries over. And that's going to go over to the other side where earn by time is. So now you've got the dasher over here on earn by time who would have earned $2 for an order, and there's an extra 3 floating around. They can add to that and finance it. It's the exact thing they were doing before, but they've been able to do it now while making the dashers think they're getting paid an hourly rate, making the world think. I posted that interview up because you could almost see I didn't put the whole interview up, but I may do a live and we'll play it and break it down, because it's interesting how the news reporter, if you watch that entire interview of Tony Xu, that news reporter fundamentally misunderstands. He can't make sense of what Tony Xu's saying. He's like, how does this work? How are you able to afford to do it? What's the best way? And Tony Xu's trying to tell him, it doesn't matter. It's both. And the guy's like, it can't be both. Well, it can be, because what they're doing is at the same time, what they didn't talk about is that they lowered and flatlined base pay to $2. So if you're going out to dash, guys, if you're going out and you're deciding to become a dasher, you need to understand this. It also needs to be understood that DoorDash is no longer and will no longer be a platform that you can rely on a full-time basis. I believe that fully. You are going to need others. You're going to need Spark. You're going to need Uber. You're going to need Grubhub. You're going to need multiple ones if you're trying to do this full-time. But they've made it clear, and it's become very clear, that this is not reliable full-time income anymore. It's just not. Maybe there's a few out there that are still doing it, and maybe some, the amount of income you can make, if it, whatever that is sitting out for 10 hours and making $600 or $700, if that works for some, that's great. But you got to understand, there's better ways to earn right now. You've got to have other apps, and there are some days. Again, take your good days with DoorDash and earn them great. Go on earn by order. Don't worry about earn by time. Earn by time is literally, you've got to decide. Now, maybe you might look at it and say, hey, I'm making $10 an hour where I'm at, and I'm willing to make 13, or it's a part-time job. But that earn by time amount is truly what you're going to end up earning. Maybe a few dollars more. And yes, will there be a day? Will there be a time? Because you get to quit when you want. So could you have a couple of orders come in and you look and you go, well, I made $19 an hour today. Yeah. But here's the bottom line. What you make an hour doesn't matter. So if you're looking only at hourly, if you're looking at hourly at all, really in this, it's a bad idea. Because what you really need to be looking at is what are you earning by mile on earn by time? And what are you earning by mile on earn by order? And what are you earning by mile on your total experience with the DoorDash platform? I guarantee you it's somewhere around, probably gross somewhere between $1 and $2, and net, meaning taking in your dead miles, taking in everything you're driving, your return miles on some orders. If you're not using any other apps, you're going to be probably somewhere between $1.15 and probably 65 cents a mile. And that is not good. That's not doable. So you got to have another app in there. You've got to have other apps to help either stack orders together to help build your mile, your money per mile, your dollars per mile, or you've got to find an app like Spark or Instacart where you can find orders that will pay you $30 a mile and will help to offset some of the lower miles that you're going to take for food delivered. But listen, guys, they're telling you. They've told you. I've shown you. Now, it's up to you. Will you be rational or will you be irrational? You decide. Guys, have yourself a rational day, and I'll talk to you soon.